Hey guys, today we've got a vintage Gillette Tech. This is a contract Tech. That base plate is a lot thinner than usual, and the materials are Zamac probably, and you can see that fuller running down the handle there. Inside of it, let's put the blade I used the other day, Personna 74, the Tungsten. It's a vintage blade. It's doing me very well. This is a Lowborn supply handle, and then a B4 knot from Declaration Grooming. I've had that in the water now for a few minutes. Let's get it back in there. I like this knot a lot. The soap today is Marbles. It's a limited run. The scent was done by AP Reserve, and then the soap base is by Otter, so you know it's going to be a good performing soap. It is a cherry tobacco type scent, so let's see how that unfolds. The Contract Tech came in this cool black in great condition case. Show that to you. Let's take apart this guy. A lot of the better materials during the Second World War were used for military purposes instead of razors, and so this is a Zamac handle, I believe. I can see the grayness in there for the pot metal. The base plate here is not, no doubt, stamped steel, and it is thinner than the normal Tech. It does have the triangle shaped slots, you know, a slight triangle point towards the middle there. And then it's this is the top cap, also probably pot metal. And so you got to make sure you clean and get the water out of these pieces, or corrosion can come in. But this is a 75-year-old razor. My resources research indicated that it was this is a 1945. Now before we put the blade in here, let me put it in the razor in the case, just so you can see what it kind of looked like back then. And this snapped shut. And this one was made for the military, 1945. My research found that anything in 1945, as far as these contract techs, was made for the military. So and they would have a box of blades here. So see, this guy doesn't move around. Close everything up. He's good to go. And he spent a lot of time in the case, probably traveling and stuff. You can see the little scuffs on the top cap where the plastic kind of wore away. So we'll fish this guy out. Put the case over here. And then this one has the letter S stamped on the bottom of the base plate, and very lightly stamped, or like the Gillette and Made in USA logo and patent pending and all that sort of thing. So we'll take this Tungsten 74 blade. We'll see how this guy shaves. I love the shave of the Techs. I've used my pre-war a lot, and that has those triangle slots, just like this one does. And again, because of that rail going right down the end cap, it's holding the blade perfectly. And I believe this one also has the 4 posts on the top cap as well. I said end cap, I meant top cap earlier. All right, so let me get my face wet, and then we can load this soap. This is 24-hour growth, hard water, and this is lukewarm water. Shake out most of the water is my practice. You may want to start with a lot more water in your brush. You have to add less later. Sometimes that's a good shortcut. All right, let's do a 40-second load just for just for funsies, so we can get a good sniff of the lather. Just medium pressure. Brush is not splaying too much. It's 20 seconds. Why don't we just do 30? Probably all we need to do. And there. Yeah, that cherry tobacco scent is coming up to me. That's what a 30-second load looks like. Looks pretty good. Rest that in my bowl. And rinse off the threads. And then let's start mixing. The curvature of this bowl, as you can see, it's fairly curved down here at the bottom. It does not have a very large patch of flat in the bottom of the bowl, and so that means these bristles are going to flex every time they hit an end of the bowl, which is frequent. And so I found that I don't really need any kind of agitating item in the bowl. Probably help a little bit, but not a big deal. You don't always need something like that. So I am going to start adding water. Let's go ahead and put in a 1.5 teaspoons. I do like a good cherry tobacco, pipe tobacco kind of scent. There was a mall that we would visit years ago when I was a little kid. My dad would go in and get some pipe tobacco, I think. He didn't smoke a lot, but maybe once a year we'd be in some vacation spot with a store that he liked to visit. So I remember that tobacco smell, which was just really nice. And the tobacco shop had some cool stuff in it. Pocket knives and gadgets and gizmos and all this kind of neat stuff. So it was a fun place to go. Yeah, this lather is coming up really nice. Refill the syringe. So we've got 2.5 teaspoons now of water in the lather. This brush handle is not the most ergonomic, not the most grippy when it comes to bowl lathering because it's shorter, so my fingertips definitely get their share of soap on them. But I love this B4 knot, so I'm going to put up with quite a bit. I may even like the B4 better than the B5. Look at the texture there. We do have some kind of waviness to it. It's not just a light bulb shaped blob. Still kind of dense. Now we can feel it. Not a whole lot of viscosity. It's not resisting my squeezing a whole lot. It leaves a nice slickness on my fingers. It is a little bubbly, a little micro bubbly there, but it's got more viscosity than some of like the vegan type bases. And then it is leaving my skin nice and slick. So you know what? Since we do have these bubbles, how about we just mix on it just a little bit longer and see what happens. bet it could take some more water if I wanted it to. Let's just keep. Yeah, it's a good scent. It's not super strong. Just a nice tobacco, sweet tobacco scent. Look at that. There we go. That looks like a really good lather. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, see a lot of those bubbles that we saw earlier with just another minute or two of mixing. Got integrated and turned into something more creamy. Sometimes a better lather is as simple as mixing just a little bit longer. All right, my face wet one more time. And let's lather up. Easy display, soft tips. Tips may not be softer than the B5, but the display is better. It's not a complex, sophisticated scent. But of all the, pipe tobacco, cherry tobacco scents that I've got, this is probably the nicest base that it's in. A lot of different makers have a pipe tobacco scent like this. The cherry's not super strong either. It's a light touch, a nuance. I think it adds to some kind of authenticity, really. Because I think most real pipe tobaccos don't go nuts on the cherry anyway. All right, 75-year-old razor. Given potentially to a GI, and now used by another veteran 75 years later. Shaves great. It doesn't have to be made out of stainless steel or some exotic metal to give you a good shave. All that matters is geometry, really. Now, the premium ingredients, premium materials are going to help it to, last longer or to survive a drop better. Make it so you don't have to worry about corrosion as much. In terms of the actual shave itself, and I'm loving the light cloud of kind of sweet tobacco that I have around me here. All that matters is the geometry around the head. Excellent. Rinse. All right. Lather looks terrific. Creamy, glistening. And I'm glad I stopped at 30 seconds. No need to go to 40. We've already done good scrubbing on the first pass. I don't need to do this kind of scrubbing, but I just like the feel of the brush. Lather feels great on my face. I think I'm kind of noticing some richness to the scent, some nuance. Something perhaps that you appreciate after you've used it for a little bit. Maybe at first it might seem like a kind of a standard but nice, cherry tobacco. Perhaps after you use it for a little bit, you start to pick up on a few of the parts of it that help to make it a good authentic one, you know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to more shaves with it. Yeah, I believe I nailed this lather. The razor's not skipping like it does when the lather's too wet. But nice, creamy, but well hydrated lather here. I could make it thicker, creamy, but that would just make it drier. All right, yeah, oh. A nice scent. It's understated. It's not something that's going to overwhelm you, but it's rich. It's neat. All right, third pass. Plenty of lather, so I put a little extra on my brush here. Don't believe I'm going to need a fourth pass. Yeah. I see those edges and pokey things, pointy spots. Sometimes that's a clue that your lather is too dry. But this soap is so good that it is really well hydrated right now. It could go wetter if you wanted to take it that far. It definitely could. If you like yours just really, really hydrated, then you can, this is a good base, and so you can do that to it without any problem at all. But I like to have mine a little on the creamy side of wet. Lather, the scent strength is maybe 4 out of 10. And for such a rich, almost a thick scent, I'm happy with that. Pretty sure I just got my little trouble spot there. Well done. Properly done. Always remember, if you're having a problem getting a certain area, do not press harder to do it, to try to fix it. Keep it light. And just relather and hit that area again. If it continues to be a problem for you, then switch to different angles of attack. You know, figure out that's what I had to work on right here. Residual slickness with this soap base is terrific. Nice slickness on my face here, even long after having shaved the area. I don't see any redness or anything like that. It's worth mentioning. Face feels great, no irritation. Man, yep, no blotter, man. They're kind of a newcomer. Holy Cow, Barrister and Mann, Declaration Grooming, formerly L&L Grooming, have kind of been on the scene for a while. And no blotter came along, and their first base was good. Then they improved their base even more, and now they are definitely standing with those other guys. All right, let me rinse. There may be a couple of hairs in my trouble spot with a little bit of length on them, but no big deal for a super comfortable shave. I'm happy with that. So, Contract Tech, piece of history, great shaver. Glad to have it. And did well with that Personna 74 blade. I used just 2.5 teaspoons of water, 30-second load with a dense Badger brush. If I hadn't laid on that third layer quite so thick, I probably could have 2 or 3 layers, 3 or 3 passes left over. So plenty of margin there. It's a nice soap and a great scent. Australian Private Reserve is the company that did the scent. They've done a few collaborations with No Otter, and I like many of the things I've had from them. I think Texas was one of them. Really nice. All right, well, I'll keep cleaning up. I told y'all the data. So, I'm a fan of the soap, both base and scent. Love this brush, of course. Glad to put another use onto it. Razor, wonderful to use a piece of history. That is the truth. And it's a great lesson in you can get a great shave from a well-designed razor, no matter what materials they are. All right, well, there we go. I sure hope there's been something here that's helped you out. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care.